Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is October 3rd, and right now we're looking at the visible satellite imagery. You can see mostly clear skies around much of the area. Looks like a little bit of some marine layer out there, but just in the very lowest few hundreds of feet there along the immediate coast of the Bay Area. You can see a little bit better stratus and marine layer activity there, right along the Southern California coastline also. But again, we're going to be remaining above average temperatures here, in some places breaking records. We'll take a look at that here as we go through the video. We'll take a look at the extended forecast, which does offer a little bit of hope if you look out far enough, and we'll go over that in some detail here as we go through the video this morning. No thunderstorm activity here across the southwest today scheduled. And if we take a look at the high resolution rapid refresh, this is composite reflectivity, so maybe what the Doppler radar would look like here over the next 48 hours, plus total cloud cover. You can kind of see that marine layer across Southern California. A little bit of that activity right on the coastline there, but not much to speak of. And you can see maybe some mid-level clouds flying around out there across the Bay Area as we go on into tomorrow morning, but that shouldn't have much impact on the sensible weather. Maybe make for a nice sunset or sunrise. And pretty typical marine stratus stuff there along the immediate coastline. So taking a look at the excessive heat warning as we go all the way in through 11 p.m. Friday, and they're probably going to remain above average as we go through the weekend as well. But you can see some inland temperatures getting pretty darn right hot. Some excessive heat warnings get pretty close to the immediate coast, and some of the heat advisories are including some of the coastal areas until you get north of the Bay Area. Then along the immediate coast, you get a little bit more relief there. But that does include a lot of the I-5 corridor, the Sacramento Valley, and on in through across some of the Sacramento Valley and down towards the San Joaquin Valley as well. So taking a look here at a daily record set for October 2nd, look at San Rafael, 106, tied the previous record. Napa beat its record high by 1. And look at San Jose, just obliterated its record that was set back in 1980 and 2012 by 10 degrees. What an amazing, just absolute decimation of that record high. And if we take a look at the hot temperatures here in the Sacramento National Weather Service, does include Sacramento today. And again, you can kind of see the areas of concern. Now, taking a look here, I believe we're looking at Palm Springs, 111 yesterday. Again, very warm for this time of year, 13 degrees above average to be exact for this time of the year. And of course, on the 1st, we had that amazing 117 degree reading there. And I heard some rumblings that that may have been one of the warmest temperatures ever recorded in some of the lower 48 for the month of October. But don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. I didn't put too much research into that. And if we look at Phoenix, Arizona, 107 was the record high for October 2nd. What did we get? We hit 108. Yet another record high falls, 14 degrees above average for this time of year for Phoenix, Arizona. And if we look at Las Vegas, I mean, just a lot of places tying or setting records. You can see Las Vegas got it yesterday, 101. Bishop, 96, beat its all-time record high for the day of 96, 99 in Bishop, I should say, and 109 in Needles tied. We had Barstow with 106. We had the record minimum temperature, actually, of 69 there at Kingman, cooled off overnight there. So, no, that's the record high minimum temperature. Sorry, I was wondering about that. That is the record high minimum temperature there, 69 degrees at Kingman, Arizona, and you can see 102 there, Desert Rock, Mercury, Nevada, yesterday, 113, Death Valley tied the previous record high. So I checked out this station near Barstow, California. You see Los Angeles Metro is off to the bottom left there. And I checked out this weather station, and you can see it stores all the data for you in the cloud. You can see these temperatures the last 3 days right up towards 100 or a little bit above. And if I close that out, you can kind of see the wind update as we speak. The UV index starting up here as the sun starts to rise above the horizon. Solar radiation stores all this data for you. If you want one of these stations, click on that link down below. Highly recommended for the price. Now, taking a look at about 5,000 feet above the atmosphere, we had this compressional heating with this, allowing for this very warm temperatures across a lot of the region. If we scroll through here, this is going through the day today. Now we going into Friday morning here. You can see this frontal system moving into the Pacific Northwest. Doesn't have much impact on much of the state of California. A little bit of cool down here right across the Oregon-California border. But as you can see, much of the Southwest still well above average at 5,000 feet. We scroll on in through the weekend, and that just continues here. And then we scroll off a little bit further. And what I want to show you here is a little bit of sign for some hope. You notice we got to go way off into the future, almost towards 200 hours, before you can see this frontal system trying to get towards the state of California. And this would be just glorious, cooling us down aloft. But this, I got to caution you, this is over 200 hours out, and this is the fantasy forecast right now. But we will be watching that to see if that is going to start to gain some credibility here as we go through the next few days. And again, tropical storm down here. It looks like, what is this? I want to call it Tropical Depression 11E. It shows that it will be a storm just briefly here as it gets towards the Mexico coastline there. So if you're headed down towards Mexico, some of the resorts down there, heads up for that. And now taking a look at that, you can kind of see that remnant tropical depression here off the coastline, kind of bobbing and weaving around. Doesn't look like it has any chance of moving up into the southwest USA right now. And as we scroll out far enough, this is the artificial intelligence European model. It does show some of that frontal system activity trying to make a pass at California as we go into 200-hour plus. So that's that fantasy forecast there again. And we'll be watching that to see if that can kind of gain some credibility here over the next few days. And looking at the high resolution rapid refresh, this updates every hour. This is 8 meters above the ground, so this is considered surface smoke. And there are a few fires out there, but overall speaking, we're not doing too bad across much of the state. So you may smell some of that, but there's no large fires ongoing right now. Taking a look at the 2-meter temperature anomaly according to the GFS, this is a 1-day running total here. So as we go on in through this weekend, you can see the above average temperatures across much of the southwest state of California. And then as we scroll out towards the fantasy forecast, look at that, would be quite glorious. Kind of cools down California at least for a few days. So we'll be watching for that one. In the extended forecast, there's never any extreme harm in looking off into the fantasy forecast, as long as you remember it's just a fantasy forecast. We're just trying to put some positive vibes out there with all this heat going on. So taking a look as we scroll through this weekend, we don't see any major tropical storm development down there to the south, south of Baja or Gulf of California, anything like that. It looks like it would move up into the southwest. But again, you do see some of this mid-latitude cyclone activity try to get going here as we go through mid-October. So we'll be watching that. And by the way, I don't see any big high pressure systems driving any strong offshore wind events in the meantime also. We'll always be watching for that as we go. Now looking at daily 2-meter max temperatures, you will notice the cool down as we go through here, a gradual cool down. As we go through Sunday, you can see still very warm across a lot of the valley areas and the desert areas and even some of the coastal regions above average. But then as we go towards the end, you can kind of see these temperatures drop off, and there is that hope as we go on into the extended forecast. And here's the average max temperatures as we've gone over the last week here. And you can see, except for Southern California coastal regions, Northern California coastal regions, the vast majority of the area has been substantially above average. You can see Phoenix kind of right in here would be included in that. And here's the 6 to 10 day above average, supposed to continue to dominate a lot of the west. And you can see the 6 to 10 day actually did start to introduce some of this above average. They're starting to look at those frontal systems and say, hey, maybe those do have a chance to get in here during this time frame. Again, we'll be watching that day by day. Here's the 8 to 14 day as well. And the 8 to 14 day precipitation, I don't know. I would take that with a grain of salt at this point. Look at the new drought monitor here. You can see we're still doing pretty good drought-wise across the state of California. We have introduced some abnormally dry across a lot of central and northern California. And there is some drought out there across some of the desert areas, portions of Nevada and Arizona. But yeah, we'll continue to watch that. I'm crossing my fingers here that we start to get some frontal systems here. We need some relief from this excessive heat that we've been dealing with. A lot of places just absolutely shattering record temperatures out there. So anyway, hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Leave some comments below, click like and subscribe, and we'll do this all again tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys then.